Welcome to Vibrant Living Conversations. I'm your host, Gemma Putty. As a life coach to midlife women, I'm excited to bring you tools, tips, and local experts to help you ditch the autopilot living by stepping into your true power, who you are, what matters to you, and how you want to dance through this life, root to crown.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. So today I am talking about heart-centered living. Heart-centered, not chasing unicorns. So what exactly do I mean about this? Why is heart-centered so vital in what I see as creating a vibrant life? I am going to start with a couple of facts for you about the heart. So here we go. Did you know that the heart has the most powerful electromagnetic energy field in the human body? Her electrical energy is about 60 times greater. Her energy field is approximately 5,000 times greater than that of the brain. This basically means that our heart health, physically, emotionally, and energetically, is vital to our overall health for us and for those around us because our heart radiates 3 feet outside of our body. So, what does that piece mean right there? We are raised in this world that is very head-brain centered in driving the ship. I know as I was growing up, we talked about the brain a lot, the mind a lot, the head a lot in making decisions, logical decisions, successful, productive decisions. This heart-centered aspect to me was always seen as this airy-fairy, unicorn-chasing aspect until I got into this personal development journey, as I can really say, that started, who am I kidding? I've always been on this journey, but this really heart-centered piece, probably about 10 years ago when I discovered the work of Connie Chapman, who helped me tap into heart-centered living. And this specific piece, there's the heart-centered from listening to her, but really resonating with this energy center of our heart chakra, obviously right here in our chest. Some even say there's 2 energy centers right here in our chest, which just amplifies how much energy is coming from this area. But showing that this heart center is radiating so much more energy than even our brains. So scientifically, the electromagnetic field, the energy that's radiating from our hearts can be felt 3 feet outside of our bodies. And I know when you walk into a room, you feel someone else's energy, right? You can feel it shift whether it's a positive thing or a negative thing. Suddenly you have like spikes up on the back of your neck, or you're just drawn into this loving, magnetizing energy field that you just want to be around because they're radiating this positivity from their heart center. So knowing that scientifically, the heart is as powerful, and potentially even more so, you could really say that it's more powerful than even our head. We also are known to have 3 brains. So again, we are told very much about the brain in our head, but when it comes down to science and where the neurocenters are in our body, our brain is one of them for sure. But then the other 2 along our vagus nerve that basically runs root to crown, that core nerve throughout our body, also connects our heart, no surprise there, right? And our gut. So our gut, our heart, and our head are these 3 brains that really communicate back and forth to each other and can control different aspects of our overall health. Our brain is very logical and organizes things to keep us safe and stable. Our heart, however, is responsible for the feelings, the emotional capacity, the true love of being a human being. And when I say that, I'm not talking about love of being in love or out of love with another human being, but the essence of life, which is nestled in this heart center, in this heart chakra region. So obviously, physically, our heart is in there beating, keeping us alive. But energetically, it's also radiating, like I've said before, that energy beyond just the physical to radiate this essence of life and the oneness and the connection of all of us. So we've got this very strong magnetic electro field that our heart radiates as an energy center. We've got the 3 brains in our body, our heart being one of them. So yes, our heart has been proven to be as important as our brain. And then of course our gut, which releases all kinds of serotonin to keep us emotionally healthy and has all of the millions of bacteria in there that help keep us healthy and our hormones balanced as well. So those 3 brains beyond just our head brain that keep us healthy, and our heart being the center one of them. Another fact about the heart is that the heart is the first organ that forms in utero. So it seems like, from what we're taught in this Western world, that the brain would be the first aspect that starts organizing the body's growth, but it's the heart. Once that heartbeat is in place in utero from that tiny little baby, that is what controls the growth of the rest of that little being. I just think that's such a beautiful and poignant thing, is that the heart is the rhythm that starts the growth of the body, of that little soul coming to life. I love that so much. Another thing is the heart chakra, like we've been talking about, this heart space in our body is the pinnacle between the lower 3 chakras, which ground us in our physical body on this planet, and the upper 3 chakras, our throat, ajna, and our crown, in the more spiritual, intellectual realms. So the heart is the pinnacle, this balancing point between being connected down low, grounded in the earth, but also being connected with intellectual and spiritual oneness of being a human being on this journey, this life journey that we are on as a human being. So why am I giving you all of these facts about the heart? Again, because I want to reiterate that living a heart-centered way. I did heart-centered life coaching. The Baika Beautiful You Coaching Academy that I went to was, its mission, its focus is about coaching from the heart. And I was so drawn to that because heart-centered definitely has a very feminine flow to it as well. And by feminine flow, I don't mean it's excluding males. I mean, it just is very soft and has this motherly, nurturing, loving energy about it. So when I was drawn to that heart-centered way of coaching, it is really talking about tapping into who the woman, the person is as their unique being on this planet, how they want to feel. It's very feelings-based. I asked a lot about, how do you want to feel? How are you feeling right now? What emotions are coming through your body? Because so many systems that I have experienced, and obviously this is my life experience that I'm sharing with you, but as I was growing up, it was so head focused. It was so based on success and logic and making a lot of money and very material, outwardly, worldly successful aspects. Whereas as I have found so much joy and peace in designing my life has come from that heart-centered aspect, that the feminine, the motherly, that is asking, okay, I know you need money, but in the job, how do you want to feel? Because if you're making $1 million to have your gigantic pool and your million vacations and your beautiful, very tailored closet, that's all fine and dandy. But if you're not feeling the way that you want to feel, if it's not heart-centered to who you are, so that you can feel this depth of aliveness and fulfillment and worthiness in your life, who you are, living out your mission as this unique human being on this planet, none of that head-centered stuff matters. So the heart-centered aspect really focuses on the emotions, the feelings, like I just talked about, and creating this ore for yourself, the peace and fulfillment for yourself, but so that you're also radiating that to the world. You're coming from a place of gratitude, positivity, deep love. And by that deep love, again, it's not this, I'm so in love with the human being or the thought of this, that, or the other. It's an inner peace, which just sees yourself as kind of one with beings, one with humanity, without judgment, without me versus you, me versus them, without anger, jealousy, judgment. And so many of those things are such just a normal part of how we talk about aspects of life, how we talk about other people. But tapping into this peace, this calmness that says, we are one. We are one, and being in judgment and jealousy and anger and hate at any point feels gross. It doesn't feel great in my body, and it doesn't actually achieve anything. Even if the other person, the other situation is projecting that to you, coming back at a not great situation with jealousy or anger or hate doesn't solve anything. It's stepping into, specifically when we're talking about life, your own life design, that's where I'm going to refocus myself back to, is designing your life from tapping into your own true love, deep heart, peace, and joy, allows you to have the vision and make decisions for your life based on how you want to feel, based on the deep needs and desires of your heart, not of a need to be successful and look a certain way in the world. Now, I know when I first started to explore this concept myself, I really didn't know what my coach, Connie Chapman at the time, was talking about. And I didn't realize that I had been living from my head for my whole life. So realizing that I could sit, be still, and listen to my heart center, and realize that there's different, I hate to say voices, but there's different voices, there's different energies directing your life. When I feel like I'm grasping, when I feel like there's a need or an urgency or any of that anger or judgment aspect of it, it really is coming from my brain. It's coming from my mind and trying to organize the world as that person's in a box or that situation's in a box and I am over here. And that us versus them is what causes separation and then judgment or anger or hate. And these are all very strong words, but anything that isn't coming as, I understand your situation and I can project love to you, whether I agree with it or not, is very heady in organizing the world, the outward world that we live in. Whereas tapping into listening to the heart, it's a deep calmness. The heart, when she is talking to you, and I'm saying talking and I'm using voices. I don't actually hear voices when I'm listening to my brain versus my heart. It's like those thoughts, those feelings, that is how it communicates for me. And for each person, I believe it's different. Obviously, I'm not fully aware of how it works for other people, but in how you know when your brain is like, yes, this is the right decision, this is the logical decision, but your heart feels uninspired and detached and it feels like a chore. That's where I can see my brain, my head, and my heart competing. And knowing that there is a difference there allows me to say, oh, this is my head chasing forward towards this. This is my heart that's being like, but that's not going to align with how I want to feel and honoring of who I am and what my needs are. That's reaching towards either stability or success or productivity so often, whereas the heart is looking for peace, joy, radiance from a sense of deep love, deep peace, deep love, deep acceptance and gratitude and positivity for everything. So when we're reflecting on head versus heart-centered, again, it feels like you are coming from calmness and it just feels right. Just when I know something just feels right is when I know it's coming from my heart. When I'm head-centered, it feels logical and uninspired. It just, okay, that would logically be the right decision, but it feels that's also probably the safe decision, the stable decision, which is what your brain is here for. Your brain is amazing, and I don't mean to downplay her because she is there to keep you stable and safe and organized in the world, but that she doesn't connect to the true core of who you are and to the essence of love and oneness across the planet. So sometimes the logical, uninspired decision might be what is needed in the moment, but knowing that that is a stable, safe decision, not necessarily a true heart-centered decision, which is how I try to lean towards leading my clients to living from, because that feels much more from their own power rather than making decisions based on stability and safety in the world. And of course, stability and safety in the world are vital. So sometimes that is needed, and I don't mean to downplay that. But living from heart-centered alignment, when you're radiating that kind of high vibe energy that comes from that huge field of your heart, magnetizes positivity, magnetizes this whole high vibe life. But it takes trust and practice and learning to realize that you can trust in that energetic side of things, to radiate that from your heart, to trust the illogical but the inspired decisions that your heart is saying, you can trust me. This is the right decision. It might not seem logical and productive and successful, but trust me, this is what your heart and your ultimate purpose on this planet need right now. But it takes practice. Another thing of heart versus head-centered is heart-centered flows from deep breaths and quiet moments. Again, when I feel like I'm grasping and just racing after things, that's when I know to like snap out of it, Gemma. Like take a couple of deep belly breaths, belly, ribs, heart, ribs, belly. Take a couple of those breaths. Go put your toes in the grass, in the sand, connect with Mother Nature, ground yourself. Sit on the floor cross-legged, hold a green or pink crystal at your heart. Whatever it takes and whatever makes you excited to have be your moment of snap out of the racing and slow down, take the breaths, breathe, and allow the space for your heart to chime in and get you out of the spiral of head logic. So the heart wants to flow and come out of those slow, quiet moments. She's not going to scream and yell at you over the rest of your brain. She's going to sit and be quiet until you are ready to listen, until you turn off the noise, the hustle, the chase, so that you can hear her, intentionally listen to her. Another one is that heart-centered feels intuitive, nurturing, aligned. It doesn't feel overthinking, productive, and rational. And I know I kind of touched on this before, but that it's like mothering yourself. It's like listening to the inner mothering feminine voice. And again, this isn't about your dad could have been the one that had the feminine energy. Your dad could have been the one that was like, slow down, look after yourself, but the feminine energy of nurturing yourself, your needs, slowing down, being intuitive, not logical and outward focused. Intuitive meaning inward, listening to what your heart needs, what this cavity, beautiful, deep, pure love energy center is calling for. So I think what really inspired me to have this podcast is that heart-centered really has become a new concept to me, like I said, in the last decade. And even when I said that I did heart-centered coaching, I get a lot of impressions of it's chasing unicorns, like I'm out there chasing unicorns and fairies. Don't get me wrong. I love to believe that unicorns, fairies, Santa, the tooth fairy, all of those believe are real and I can believe in them, but that's a whole nother subject. But it has been proven in science that our hearts are radiating these huge energy fields and keeping our bodies in balance and alignment and our cells happy and not in stressed out radiating mode. If we can keep living from our heart and keep this radiating fully, calmly from peace, it keeps our full body in more calmness and balance and homeostasis. It allows us to radiate in our 3 feet of our heart out to the world, which is part of our mission too, is bringing up the collective energy when there's so much stress and craziness out in the world. If we can be a little bit of the light from radiating that positivity, that joy outside of our bodies, just by aligning with ourselves, by tapping into our intuition, the peace, the heart, so that we can emanate it to the world, raise the vibration, bridge our own physical bodies and physical life with our intellectual and spiritual life, and design a life that is aligned from the inside out, rather than letting the outside craziness and logic design our lives for us. So tapping into that heart space, there's of course different ways to do it, and depending on what resonates for you, I'll generally always talk about journaling, because for me in journaling, sitting in stillness, asking my heart, what does she need? What does she want me to know? What guidance and wisdom would she like me to know? And then free flow journaling, not thinking about it, not being logical about it, but writing down what is coming out from your heart, free writing, because logical brain writing is not free writing. It doesn't flow out. Your brain has to activate and you feel like you're overthinking things. Whereas sitting with your heart and asking her, and then free writing and seeing the wisdom and the voice that comes out is always, always amazing to me. And like, whoa, that voice was in me. And I think the beauty is that it shows that I am guided and connected. And it's not just me as a solo woman on this journey. I am being supported and connected and guided on much deeper and higher and expansive levels than myself, than just my brain and my heart and my gut and this body. It's much bigger than that, because when I do the free writing through my heart, I can see just wisdom and guidance that is just much bigger than anything that I'm thinking about. Gratitude practice is a huge one as well, like sitting in gratitude and being thankful, even just for a few minutes each day, about all of the beautiful things in your life, brings out a positivity and starts allowing you to see life through a beautiful lens, through a positive lens. It starts to retrain your brain and how to look at situations rather than from judgment or negativity. Having a gratitude journal about all of the beautiful things that you can be thankful for, from even your house to your job to the people that you're surrounded by. Being thankful for all of them. And of course, there's going to be things that annoy you, but starting to see the positivity allows you to suddenly start seeing the positivity more often, and it expands. It's like a habit across all things in your life. Even if at some points you're seeing people that are triggering you as annoying, you can suddenly spin it and just, okay, what lesson is this person teaching me right now? I am shining them light and love as the journey that they are on with the experiences that they have had, and they are in my life to share lessons with me. So the old me would have been judgmental or annoyed or sending them negative bleh. Instead, you start to see the positivity of, okay, this person, this situation may not immediately off the cuff seem positive, but they must be here to teach me a lesson. And even that minor shift in being able to see everything as a positive, loving experience in your life to help you grow on your own journey from root to crown, and the dance of up and down as that is on this human journey, and of being a light in this crazy world of where we're all figuring it out. So I hope this wasn't too esoteric. I hope you can see the heart really has this amazing capacity to keep us alive physically, but to also connect us in the greater picture of oneness and human life, all energetic beings on this planet, and see that love, heart-centered living and love is a deep energy. It's an expansive energy. It allows us to blossom and move through life with these high radiating, high vibe goggles on, rather than the contractedness of living from our head in safety and logic and success and productivity and materialism. The heart wants to expand. She wants to radiate 3 feet out of your body, if not more, in glowing joy and peace, not acknowledging that half of life is pleasure and half of it is pain, but without judgment, without the low vibeness of it, but seeing life as it's a journey. There's pain and there's pleasure, but I am going through seeing the painful parts as life lessons, as opportunities and obstacles to grow stronger in myself, to connect more deeply with myself, to understand my needs and my desires and my mission on this planet even more. And coming to your heart allows the journey to be more peaceful, to be less grasping, to be more fulfilling and less hollow and feeling like, what is the purpose? Coming back to the love aspect allows you to come from the worthy, high vibe, high radiating way to live your life. So I want to end with a quote for you that came from the Chopra Center, and so based in Ayurvedic wisdom and the Vedas, but that the ignorant person dreams of material possessions, and ignorant by meaning worldly focused. So the ignorant person dreams of material possessions, the intelligent person dreams of enlightenment, but the wise person just loves, and everything comes to him and her. So the ignorant person dreams of material possessions, very outwardly focused, living for the world. The intelligent person dreams of enlightenment, So it's so heady and focused on just becoming enlightened and all guru in the quantum physics world, right? But the wise person just loves, realizes that deep, pure love for oneself, for the life experience, for the journey that we're all on and trying to figure out together to feel loved, fulfilled, worthy. They're the person that is attracting, magnetizing everything to him and her in the law of attraction. To be in love, in peace, listening from the inside rather than listening from all of the world noise allows you to attract what is meant to be aligned with you. It allows you to be in the energy of yourself, of your true self, of your own power, and to magnetize, or as I also say, it's design, but magnetize, co-created with the creator, the life that you get to be living, to live the journey that you are intended to be on as you, the unique, only you, dancing through this life. So I'm going to leave you there. I would love to know if you try this practice, if it's resonating with you, if I'm too up in my own head trying to explain this to you. But tapping into that heart center, into the physical organ, but the energy center that's radiating around you, and listen to her. Listen to when she is speaking, create the space for her to speak and to be heard, and also acknowledging your head, and know that your head is there to keep you safe, but the dance between the two of them is a beautiful journey of figuring out and getting to know the different ways and the different forces that are trying to drive your life. The heart is the true essence of you. So I'll leave you with that. Until next time, I'm sending you all the love, light, and vibrancy. Thank you.
If you like this podcast, I want to invite you to coach with me. Let's ditch the autopilot living to slow down, tune in, reset, and redesign your life to glow from the inside out based on the beautiful being who you are, what matters to you, and how you want to dance through this life. I help you understand your self-sabotaging ways, programmed thinking, and tendencies to outsource your power, and reshape them to align with the true you for this chapter of your life. To join me in a complimentary coaching session, go to my website, www.gemmaputty.com. Sending all the love, light, and vibrancy. Until next time.